So, welcome back, everyone. I wanted to comment on a comment that I received on my latest video. So, if you haven't seen my latest video, I recommend it. The title is How News About Poland is Manipulated. And in this video, I do a basic Google News search for Poland, and I go through the first list of results and give you my take on what the sources are and what they are trying to push about Poland and what perspective they offer. Of course, you could say this is a subjective viewpoint, but I believe that it's based on years of experience and observation that's at a higher level than most of the people looking at Poland are talking about Poland. I think most people, when they talk about Poland, if they talk about Poland at all, it's usually from a very narrow perspective. And I think I have a very broad perspective about Poland as a Polish person, as a Polish American raised in the U.S., but also spent a ton of time in Poland, and someone who knows Polish well and understands the history and culture and all of that. You're free to disagree. You can, of course, leave a comment if you disagree. But I wanted to reply to a comment on that video, and I don't know who this person is, but I may give you some food for thought. So the commenter is at Thane of Tranmere. And let me quickly check to see if no subscribers. Okay. So the comment is, I have no idea about the author of the video. I don't think I agree with his political viewpoint at all. So it's kind of an initial way to discredit the author. The author of the video is Nick Siekierski. He has a PhD in history from the Polish Academy of Sciences in Warsaw. He's spent close to 10 years of his life in Poland. He speaks Polish fluently. He's translated several books from Polish into English, and he worked at the Hoover Institution Library and Archives at Stanford University for 15 years. And I don't hide my views, so that's who I am. I don't hide who I am. I also don't have any donors behind me. I'm not on the payroll of any institution or organization. So my opinions are my own, and I don't feel limited by someone who's standing in the background or in behind the scenes and someone's whose toes I may step on. I don't try to step on people's toes intentionally, but that, of course, may happen. And he doesn't mention what the political viewpoint is that he doesn't agree with. I don't think I expressed a political viewpoint, more of a maybe patriotic viewpoint, defending Poland, but not really a political viewpoint. A little bit of, hopeful optimism about the incoming Trump administration, but I don't think that's what this guy was about. Additionally, I have never visited Poland, so the author of this comment has not been to Poland, but I have met a lot of Polish people. I also have a foster sister who is Polish. So, so he has a foster sister who is Polish, but he's never been to Poland. So he's been around Polish people, but not in Poland. So I don't know what kind of environment this person is from. My impression of the Polish people is the political mindset is dominated by a dislike of Russia. So this is the, you know, my sense is that this is a kind of a Russian troll person. In any case, someone who's not just a random commenter who wants to share their opinion, but they want to slip this in. So it's like the entire comment is the uh, cellulose or whatever they make the pills out of, and then you have like the little bit of the poison or the propaganda or the skew that they're trying to shove into your mind through this comment wrapped up in all these words. This is different from the general benign feelings towards Russia that is found, say, amongst many Bulgarian and Serbian people. I don't know about the Bulgarians, although I don't think they have generally benign feelings about Russia. They were a part of um, the Soviet Union as a satellite state of the Soviet Union. Uh, so I don't think they have benign feelings towards Russia. Maybe it's more Russified. I don't know, but I think they don't like what Russia did to them over the generations, especially under communism. And as far as Serbs, of course, the situation was there different. It was different there with Yugoslavia under Tito. There was a nominal independence from Russia, but it was still a Soviet style state. But I do know that Serbs tend to be more pro-Russian because of for historical reasons. Of course, more recently, the United States and the ethnic conflict that was going on in that region. So they have hostility towards the U.S. and more sympathy towards Russia. I think that Poland is an interesting mix of opinions and aspirations, and aspirations is misspelled here, Aspersions instead of Aspir, and that the people are generally well educated, often self-educated, and have quite a sophisticated outlook. So I don't know if this is a kind of an underhanded dig. My understanding is that most Poles have some kind of higher education, if not a university, then some kind of technical school or something like that. Maybe an agricultural school or some kind of more formal training after high school. So they have a sophisticated outlook. There is still some old-fashioned racism towards Jews, gypsies, black people, and particularly, and is spelled with an SND, so it's just kind of like a sloppiness, particularly Muslims. To instead of TOO, it's TO, found among Polish people I have met. I haven't encountered this old-fashioned racism towards Jews, gypsies, black people, and Muslims. There is a Polish uh, minority of Muslims, of Tatar Muslims, who've been there for several centuries at least. Um, and no, I haven't encountered this racism towards Jews, gypsies, or black people. Of course, that's a complicated topic for many other videos, maybe the Polish-Jewish relations. Um, But no, I haven't encountered any racism towards Jews. There's animosity between the groups for historical reasons, and but it does not manifest itself in some kind of hatred towards these ethnic groups, and especially black people. I don't know why the black people was inserted in there. There aren't many. There are more people from Africa now in Poland, but they are certainly not discriminated against, like perhaps in other parts of the world. Certainly in Asia, there would be a lot more, I think, racism towards people from Africa. If anything, Poland is extremely tolerant, probably too tolerant, but you can't accuse Poles of being hateful towards these groups. Some people do try to, especially against Jewish people, but I haven't found that to be the case. So this, I think, is a manipulative disinformation type comment, kind of along the lines of what I was discussing in that previous video, except that you have the commenter level version of this instead of a news article manifestation of it. And I think this is just another one of probably millions, if not billions, of comments made by pro-Russian agents. I don't know if this is a AI or if this is a legitimate person, but in any case, I think it's the main thing is to discredit the topic that I was discussing and to besmirch Polish people as racist and disliking Russia. And I think this is the one thing that I want to focus on before I finish. Poles don't dislike Russians. Normal, average Russian people and Poles, I think, get along quite well. The problem is with the Russian government, the Russian state, the Soviet Union, the Russian Empire, the destructive and genocidal policies of that leadership class of Russia for several centuries against the Poles. So I think dislike would be quite a weak word as far as what Poles should feel towards this country. I think the most accurate way to describe it is that Poles are very um, wary and skeptical of Russia, and very rightly so. Russia is a hostile nation against Poland, and I um, of course don't want to throw all Russian people under the bus. Like I said, I think Poles get along with many Russians. Just on a person to person basis, an average working class Russian would probably get along well with Poles. But there has been a significant part of the population that's been propagandized over the centuries into thinking that the Poles are their enemy, and they aren't. Poland is a much smaller and weaker country, despite the obvious weakness that Russia has displayed in its inability to come to a conclusive victory or some kind of final sorting out of affairs in its Ukraine invasion. Poland has no way of challenging Russia, and militarily or even economically. So it's very much reliant on NATO partners, on EU partners, and Poland doesn't want to get into a conflict with Russia. But Poland, rightfully so, is very skeptical towards Russia and doesn't want Russia to come back and again dominate Poland. As I mentioned, there's a very dark history of Russia invading Poland, of a large portion of Poland being under Russian control for more than a century. You could say for closer to 200 years after the partitions, and then again when you had. Okay, of course, it wasn't just Russia, it was the Soviet Union, but the dominating force in the Soviet Union was the Russian culture and the Russian people, or a certain class of people, not just Russian, of course. You had Georgians, you had Stalin and Beria and others, Jewish people as well. I mean, there's no hiding that there are many Jewish communists who were part of that system. And so, no, I don't think Poland dislikes Russia because Russians are Russian or whatever. Poland has a clear and well documented terrible history with Russia, with Russian acts of aggression and brutality towards Poland. So they're rightfully skeptical of Russia, but not in a hateful way. I don't see anything resembling the propaganda that's put out in Russia about Poland, about how Poland should be destroyed with nuclear weapons, about how, everyone is against Russia and undermining Russia. I do not see the equivalent at all in Poland about Russia or China or Iran or any of these other states. I think Poland doesn't want to get involved with direct conflicts with these countries. And so that's the comment there. I welcome you to watch that video uh, and tell me what you think about it. And I hope I get more comments because obviously you see these comments are stimulating, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to reply to them. So it's nighttime in uh, the San Francisco Bay Area, and wherever you are, I wish you a good day or night. And I think right now that I'm looking at it, just under my thumb is Moscow. I believe that's Moscow. So, and can we see anything else from this other side? No. So California is over on this side of the earth. So saying goodnight to you from the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley. This is Nick. Please do subscribe and leave a comment if you so desire. I plan to put out a lot more videos and you'll be hearing a lot more from me. So I welcome anything you have to say. Good night and good luck.